Hi, and welcome to the podcast. This is Champ and Flawless, the picks, NFL Week 1. We start off Week 1 with the opening Thursday game of the Green Bay Packers versus Seattle Seahawks. Seattle opens a 5-point favorite here. Tough call. I know the favorite team has a bad record on opening Thursday games. I think that trend continues, like the Green Bay Packers, to cover the points here. Next, we have the Buffalo Bills versus the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears are 7-point favorites. Going with the Bears here, think there's a blowout. I do like that Buffalo defense, but don't think their offense will be able to score enough to keep this game. Look for the Bills to keep this game close and then get blown out late. I like Chicago minus the 7. Next, we go to the Redskins and the Texans. Texans are a minus 2.5 here. Tough call. Either way, both these teams had disappointing years last year. Do you think RG3 is going to be able to come back and make it with Clowney and Watt chasing after you? I think that I look for the Texans to pull this one out late, cover that 2.5, like Houston minus the 2.5 despite their quarterback issues. Cincinnati and Baltimore is our next game. It's a PK. Like the Bengals here, I think Baltimore is going to struggle this year. The addition of Steve Smith I don't think will be enough to make that offense go. Ray Rice and Bernard Pierce both struggled last year. Look for Ray to continue his struggles this year. And for that, he's suspended for the first 2 games, so he won't even be there. So you're only getting Bernard Pierce. Like the Bengals to roll in this one. Next, we have my lock of the week. The New England Patriots beat the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins getting 6 points. Love this game. Love the Dolphins getting 6 in their home opener. Think New England's a little overrated this year. I still don't see a lot of offensive weapons, especially if Gronk is hurt, which he most definitely will be at some point in this season, and he's already not even been totally cleared for this Week 1 game. Like the Dolphins, plus 6, lock of the week. Tennessee versus Kansas City. Kansas City minus 4 is our next game. Like the Chiefs here, minus 4. They're always good at home. Don't think Tennessee will travel well. Do think Tennessee will be a better team this year. But this is a tough road opener. Like the Chiefs to roll here. Chiefs minus the 4. Tough game to open the NFC South. New Orleans Saints versus the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons a slight 2.5-point favorite here. Really tough game to call. Do you think the Falcons can bounce back? Their offense is healthy. Think that line's sorted out a little bit. Don't know about their defense just yet. The Saints will sure test that. So I think we'll go with the Falcons minus 2.5 to start off the year. Based on being at home to start the year, I think the Saints will continue to struggle on the road even though it is in a dome. Like the Falcons minus the 2.5. We're going to step away for just a minute for our Celebrity Pick 5 Super Contest picks. And take it away, Vince.
Wanna know what your name is? 'Cause see, when I was younger, I would say, when I grow up, I wanna be famous, I wanna be a star, I wanna be in movies. When I grow up, I wanna see the world, drive nice cars, I wanna have movies. When I grow up, be on TV, people know me, be on magazine. When I grow up, fresh and clean, number 1 chick when I step out on the scene. Be careful what you wish for, 'cause you just might get it.
Vince Lombardi here, and this is my Celebrity Pick 5. Football is a game that is decided by merely a few plays that become turning points. Therefore, you must play hard all the time, because you never know when those few plays will be the turning points. I have picked my 5 teams based on the hardest playing teams in the NFL today. My pick 5 goes the Green Bay Packers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Houston Texans, and the New York Giants. Those are my 5. Those are the 5 hardest playing teams. I'm Vince Lombardi. Those are my picks.
Wanna know what your name is? 'Cause see, when I was younger, I would say, when I grow up, I wanna be famous, I wanna be a star, I wanna be in movies. When I grow up, I wanna see the world, drive nice cars, I wanna have groupies. When I grow up, be on TV, people know me, be on magazine. When I grow up, fresh and clean, number one chick when I step out on the scene. Be careful what you wish for, 'cause you just might get it.
Next game up is the Vikings versus the Rams. Rams are 4-point favorites. I think I'll go with the Vikings here. I don't think Seattle will drop off as much as you think because of the Bradford injury. Sean Hill is definitely, I'd say, solid enough, not a great quarterback, but is decent enough to keep a team afloat. And I think the Rams will get it together, but it might take a couple games. I think the Vikings might be a pretty good team this year. We'll see if their defense can bounce back. Certainly think that offense will be able to grind away at the Rams' front four, who's better at pass rushing than run defense, like the Vikings plus the 4. The Cleveland Browns visit the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are a 7-point favorite. Like the Steelers to roll easy here. Don't think Cleveland will be able to give them much, especially with Hoyer at quarterback. Look for Manziel to get in at some point in that game. Like the Steelers, roll easy minus the 7. Next up is the Oakland Raiders versus New York Jets. Jets are a 5-point favorite. I'm going to go with the Raiders here. I'm going to go with the Raiders here. Think that little Carr getting the spot might boost them up. Able to cover this spread. Look for a low-scoring, tight game. And they cover that 5 points, like the Raiders. Next, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Biggest spread of the week. Philadelphia minus 11.5 points. I'm going to surprisingly go with Jacksonville here. I think this Jacksonville team will be much improved this year. Think they're able to cover this, especially late. I think Hinney can at least hold the ship down, and hopefully we get some Bortles action later on in the season. Really like this Jacksonville team this year to be a nice team to beat the spreads. Like Jacksonville, plus the 11.5. Next we have the 49ers versus the Dallas Cowboys. The 49ers are 4.5-point favorites here. Tough game to call. Dallas has no defense at all, and the 49ers defense is all hurt. I think the 49ers offense will be able to score enough points, and the 49ers defense still has enough players on it to get a couple stops for the Cowboys. At 4.5's a little tricky, but think the 49ers can pull it out, like the 49ers minus 4.5. Next we have Carolina versus Tampa Bay in a pick'em game. Like the Carolina Panthers to go on the road. Don't like Tampa's quarterback situation. Josh McCown was probably a little bit of a fluke last year. Go back to the mean where he was below average quarterback in previous seasons. Think that trend continues. Like the Carolina defense here, I think their offense finds a way to do it. Carolina Panthers, pick 'em. And it brings us to our Sunday night showcase game. The Indianapolis Colts visiting the Denver Broncos. Denver's a 7-point favorite. You know my rule, always Peyton Manning at night. That continues. Denver Broncos minus the 7. Look for them to get off to a fast start with their new defensive weapons. And look for Emmanuel Sanders to have a pretty good game, like the Denver Broncos minus the 7. Next we have the New York Giants visiting the Detroit Lions on the first Monday Night Football game. Like the Giants here, I know they haven't looked very good, but I think this offense gets it together with their new West Coast style, and I just never trust the Lions. I never trust the Lions, especially being this big of favorites. Monday Night Football, look for the Giants to open up hot on a big stage, like the Giants plus the 5. And the last game of the week, the late Monday Night Football game, San Diego visiting the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals are minus 3. Gonna go with the Chargers here. Just think Arizona's been a little bit stake bit already this year. So many of their defensive guys going down. Think that really hurts them. They're a team that was based on their defense last year. They have some nice offensive pieces. but they need that defense to get key stops and turnovers for it to be effective. Don't think that happens versus the Chargers. Think the Chargers go in there, steal one in Arizona on Monday night, like the Chargers plus the 3. Well, those are my picks for this week. Now I'll give you my pick 5 for the ATS Games NFL Pick 5 Super Contest. My 5 picks this week are the Miami Dolphins, the Cincinnati Bengals, Jacksonville Jaguars, San Diego Chargers, and Chicago Bears. Those are my 5. What are yours? That's the show for this week. Be sure to check out all our fun stuff at ATS Games website and come back next week for our NFL Picks podcast. And I'm out.